Good afternoon, team. Happy Tuesday. Well, it was definitely turnaround Tuesday. It definitely turned around on us. It opened up much higher than it closed. Unfortunately, the CPI numbers came in line. We had a good 260-point move to the upside just before pre-market. It held in the upper 200s for about half a day, and then it just tanked. Like around midday or 1 o'clock or so to end up down in the day. So that's really unfortunate. I mean, look at this huge big bar here. It tried to close the gap here. That's kind of what I was trying to do. Kind of almost did. This is called a this right here is called a bearish engulfing bar, where you have a huge bar totally engulfing the previous bar, and it ends up on the downside. That's extremely bearish, and it did it on high volume, higher than previous volume. So this is nasty. This is really nasty. Let me look at the weekly here. This is kind of turning out what I mentioned. I forgot if it was in the weekend video or last week, where this pattern looks like a reverse head and shoulders, where you have this shoulder, you have this shoulder right here, you have the head, and then we were building. I told you I think I mentioned it when it was up here somewhere or down here somewhere, that if that's the case, we were going to go lower. Well, here we go. Here's the lower. So we might go a little bit lower tomorrow. I don't know. We might kind of pull back and hit our head again on the 50. Bounce around for a little bit, and maybe earnings season or something could spark this up. And if we break the neckline, then we can go higher. Don't fight the Fed. The Fed is it's taking liquidity away. It's raising interest rates. So they started announcing the tapering and the interest rates back in November, and then since then the market had just gone downhill. We're not going to have a sustained uptrend until the Fed eases up and they stop with the rate hikes, and that's not going to happen until we have a true break, like a 20% 20% decline on the market. I think right now we're off what we're 16% on the Nasdaq, and the SPY, it's about 8% or so. So, with 20%, it's gonna be a lot lower. Let me look at the actual composite here. The composite, you can't. They won't show you in the composite. Let me see on the S&P. Yeah, they won't show it to you. It will have to be on the SPY on the. So yeah, I mean, well, about 9-10% off the high. So we could definitely go to 20% with no problem. Before things are really broken. This right here can get a lot uglier. Okay, so just be careful. I mean, I put some buys on just because they were very low risk on support moving averages, and out of the three, one of them stopped me out immediately. So pretty much nothing is working. I mean, my short puts a little bit on the water, just because we keep going lower. The breakouts are not working. They're reversing back out again. Then the pullback buys are just so choppy. You get this kind of stuff and you get stopped out. So this is very bearish. I mean, we could have something like this where we have enough of them, then we have a nice little turnaround rally, which we need to kind of get out of some of the short puts I'm on. I mean, but the sustain, this right here, we're not going to have this for a while. I'm hoping maybe this little mess right here, it's this mess right here extended, and then somewhere in May we get some kind of relief rally. But that's in May. That's still another month away. This is around the second week of May. So we could definitely go much lower. This is the what I normally show you guys, that we kind of go sideways for a while, and then we have this gap here. We still have this gap to fill here, and then this gap from this morning that got filled to the downside. So that got filled midday, and we kept on going lower. This could be building a nice little cup here. You know, we need to break this and kind of go higher. But we're still, let me clean this up. We're still in a downtrend. Okay. This is still kind of the same kind of picture in the downtrend here. This is much lower. This is lower. This is lower. Everything is pointing. You know, there's nothing here that ensues joy and happiness, and we're gonna go higher. We do have a gap to fill here, and then we still have this huge gap to fill. So this will be nice if we eventually get this filled. I doubt it's going to be this week. It's a 15-point move. It's a 20-point move from here. So maybe sometime in May we kind of go around, build a little cup here somehow, and then we go a little higher. It's going to take time. This is definitely broken. It's going to take time. So just stay nimble. Stay nimble. I went through my scans, and I got a few that that are still kind of doing their thing. So there's still stuff that is working. It's just you got to be very, very quick to take profits, because the market is so volatile. You could be up 200 points, and then within 3 hours you're down 100. It's incredible. It's incredible how it just chops you around. So you have to stay nimble. You got to honor your stops, and then take profits if you have a nice breakout or a nice setup that works. Just take profits quickly. CF, I'm looking at it at 110.85. 110.85. I want this side today's high to be taken out. We went a little bit high. We had this little cup here. We kind of broke out. We came back to test. We're consolidating here. We're kind of looking to break out again of this kind of same scenario here against. If we do, we got to break 110.85. So that would be a good one if he does that. STLD 89.71. 89.71. I want this high to be taken out. I'm looking at the same scenario as this right here, where we're kind of building a nice little cup here, and when it broke, we went from the 78, 79 area to like almost 89, 90. So it was a nice 10-point move. Let's say you got stopped out here 87 or something like that. You still got a nice 7-point move within a week. So if we build this little cup right here, and then we break this out, we can have run at 100. Okay, so STLD. Oki 71.86. 71.86. Take out today's high. I like this little tight action here. I like how this is kind of like the same kind of scenario where it's building the base. It broke out a little bit, didn't sustain, but this is kind of like a high handle of this cup. Normally the handles kind of come inside the cup. This one is a high handle, but if you notice, let me clean this up. If you notice, it's portraying as a handle where it's slanting downwards. So this is a nice setup right here. It's pretty tight. Just kind of like back here where it had this little cup. You had a nice little handle here, and when it took off, you had a 6-7 point move. So again, we might hit 80 if we break out of the 71.86. Okay, good numbers. Good numbers. It's got earnings in 21 days. So that beginning of May kind of scenario where it coincides with what I was mentioning in the cues that we might get a rally. We might have to go through a lot of chopping around before we get there. FLNG 29.01. 29.01. Kind of same concept. Nice little cup, didn't work. Nice little cup, didn't work. Nice little cup, finally did work. It took off. Nice consolidating. Little tight action here. So it takes out 30, 29.01. Early cheat entry at 29. We have to stop right here below the 9 EMA. It's a low risk entry. And that's it. The ones that I put on today, LFG. I took LFG. Why? Because this cup right here and this little side action here. Again, it took off today earlier, but just the weight of the market brought it back down again, but it kind of stayed. You see this little pattern right here? It kind of stayed in this little same kind of angle. It's still a higher high, a higher low than this low, so it's still an uptrend. It's holding the 90 EMA area, so I'm going to take a little gamble here and take a little play on this breakout with a tight stop right below the 9. So it's a low risk entry. If it doesn't work, then I'm not losing that much, but I got a potential for a nice pop here if it does take off. And then the other one that I put on was CTVA. 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 I entered it here because it was above this breakout right here. It's ending up on the high a little bit. I mean, it's not a huge volume, but it's still it's increasing volume on the way up. See this nice little tight action here? Kind of like it broke this little base right here at a nice 7 or 8 point move. Then it's consolidating, a nice high tie flag, and then it's taking off again. So the ideal entry would have been right there, but we missed that. So this is still within 3 to 4%. So as long as you're within 5%, 5% is kind of like too much. I would say 3.5% from the pivot. You still not overly extended. If you're beyond 5% or so, then you're extended. Don't chase it. Like if you would have missed this breakout and you're up here at 56, I wouldn't be buying here from this breakout. But this breakout, I missed it. The next day it kind of comes into this same little area. It's about 1 or 2%. You can still get in here and ride this trend. So this is kind of what I'm doing here, where I missed this breakout right here from this. I missed that. So it consolidated, still up, still on an uptrend. It's holding the bottom of the day, kind of held on the high end, and then I added to it when it broke out from the previous high of the day, and it ended up at the utmost high. So it was a pretty nice bullish sign. So again, my stop will be below this breakout right here in the 90 EMA, and the 21 is following along nicely. So again, just I'm taking shots on setups. That's it, simple as that. If they don't work, I got tight stops, and I might lose 1 or 2%, and get a potential 9, 10, 12% gain if it does work. Okay, that's all I got. Just stay nimble. Don't force trades. Don't get discouraged. There will be better days. We're just not there yet. We have to go through this chop fest to get to them. So don't get chopped around. Honor your stops. If you notice, I bought that one. I forgot the ticker symbol. Let me see, which one was it? Right here, CLH. I wanted to buy the 21 stop right here because it was still holding above yesterday's low on the 21. So my theory was, okay, well, it's holding the 21. It was still above yesterday's low on this downtrend here. Let me put a little alert here, because if it does go up, then I might take an entry on a high end here, 110, take it to 120. But my thought process was, let me take it here. It's still above yesterday's low. It's still holding the 21. So low volume. I mean, it's really low volume, so it's not really like a major sell-off. So I figured, let me take a gamble here, and my stop is easy, below yesterday's low. If it breaks yesterday's low, then my theory and my thesis is incorrect. So that proved it wrong, and I got stopped out. Simple as that. No big deal. I lost about $69-75 to a potential to have probably make 1,000 if it does break. So now I'm not letting it go altogether. I'm looking at it now. If it breaks let's see what's today's high. Today's high is 109.66. So if it breaks 110, I'm back into it. Because it could easily go to 115, 120, and all is good. Okay, so nice little cup with handle here. It's building the right side. So we'll see. You gotta take your shots. Again, very minimal, low risk, small position size. All right. Have a blessed rest of the evening, and the next video will be on Thursday. Thanks, guys.